we've seen a lot happening in so far tunaweza sema ni mengi masani machache. National Police Service and the Kenya prisons officers, there's been kuna bima imetolewa kwa ajili ya it's called the usalama something. What was the name? Yeah, the polisi sasa hivi wameweka under bima ya usalama cover, ya usalama cover, which is we saw there, tukaona kina Duale Murkomen, the Inspector General, and even the akina Amin Mohamed. So we will measure into the Gikomba politics because we saw how people chanted. And so concerning the yesterday's matter, because the senators are trying to look into counties accountability, we've seen governors being summoned to by the public accounts. So yesterday, governor after amewisha the whip to go and kamata wamke ndani, bwana akatoka mbio, and to saw the wananchi, the people of Samburu kama wameandamana wakikashifu gavana wao kutritiwa hivyo. And today we sema the governor just being held accountable for what they on the county's expenditure, and he said he's not afraid of that with Governor Samburu, na kama anataka kumtafuta, he knows where to find him. And also I saw Boni Khalwale pia akikondemn governor wa Kakamega, Governor Baraza, for how he has been squandering money allocated for county's development. It was very funny. We will look into it also. And then we've been talking the issue of land grabbing here every time now and then, whereby I also saw angry residents in a place in Eldoret, I think it was Kipkaren or where the MCA had grabbed some of their land, forcing some people who had businesses there and whatever to kutoka, and people went back today. They said they have been talking even to the county commissioner, and like from the bottom, chief, DC, DO, and whatever, but their pleas had not been taken into consideration. So the wananchi, so our land grabbed, we've reported to the authorities because it had been grabbed actually by an MCA, the MCA of that area. They had reported several times in the public authorities, but no action had been taken. So our wananchi walisema badala wachukue sheria mkononi. MCA had constructed some of his houses, approximately 100 in that land. So our wananchi waliandamana wakabomoa hizo nyumba proper, and the MCA was complaining why should they demolish something that I've really worked for. They're destroying something that I took time to make in like. And I think every politician who is involved in land grabbing, inabidi tu sometimes kama mwananchi unaweza choka, just need to I'm not saying it's a good thing. Yeah. So welcome to show. Welcome. So today our main topics is the Gikomba politics. So today we saw the United Opposition in Gikomba. We know this week the traders of Gikomba wakapata the staffs in demolished. They had undergone losses and were moved to another place, but the place they were moved to haikai vizuri na pia hiyo space ni kidogo kwao. So as the opposition said is that the chair lady of Gikomba called them and told them to renew, to kind of intervene into what they are facing. And as we had Eugene alikuwa anasema there is a court order to stop such incidents that are happening in Gikomba. And in the same meeting tuliona they had a narrative ikielezwa because when Ruto was coming to power, he told the people that serikali yake itakuwa ya mahasla, na yeye pia ni hasla juu alikuwa anauza kuku pale Eldoret. Just a second. So as I was saying, in the same meeting at Gikomba, we saw this Ruto aliambia watu yeye ni hasla na akiingia mamlakani atajaji. See now it is hustlers who are suffering under his regime, which is contrary to what he promised us when he wanted the votes. But since Kenyans were convinced during that time, and politicians will always tell you what you want to hear, box waliingia and yeah, that is what happened. He pretended to be a hustler like one of you, but they always say that just as I've said, politicians will always tell you what you want to hear, and they'll deceive you and use any kind of manipulation as long as they get what they want. They always say the end justifies the means, and you know what that means. He pretended to be one of us. I think we've also seen instances of such politicians, like a person like was it Joseph Stalin or Adolf Hitler? He used to shave a certain mustache, which was used by the middle income people in that country, so that he could be seen as one of them. The same way Ruto pretended to be one of you, but by telling you he's a hustler. And the same way he also pretended to be religious so that he might be elected. Hadi nimeona vile akuwa Nyeri pale Othaya, amequote hadi Bible verse. Amequote Bible verse, the name of the verse, but yeah. And we'll also see Nani used to tell the people of Iraq, Saddam Hussein, that he was anointed by God to rule Iran forever. The same way this gentleman Kasongo alidanganya watu wa Kenya. Which other leaders same tactic? But once they come to power, just the same way Idi Amin did in Uganda, he ruled through terror. And yeah, that's what we are getting as Kenyans for now. Anyway, kwa hayo machache tutaangazia yale ambayo yalijiri Gikomba. We saw various leaders speaking, but also before we start looking at what happened in Gikomba, William Ruto has been complaining that those who want him out of power are those people who are tribal. I don't know what, but they are tribal and they are guided by personal reasons. But I don't think that is the reason, as he says and as he quotes. Because if it could be because of tribalism, then Kalonzo Musyoka from the eastern part of the country couldn't come and just like, I'm not okay with Ruto. He couldn't just come here and have a problem with this person. And as a people, we want to get him out of this seat. Eugene Wamalwa from the western part of Kenya can't come and it's like the whole of Kenya is tired with this person. They are so fed up and now wanataka kumtapika. I don't know if he recognizes that, because removing Kasongo from power, it isn't something personal, it's a collective, it's not something personal, it's because it's a collective, how do I put it? It is something that is collective, whereby I feel like he is not doing what he promised the people of Kenya he will do. The basic things in the society are not going the way they're supposed to be. Things are meandering and the people are fed up. So removing William Samoei Ruto is not something that is personal. It is something that is collective. Hajatimiza kile ambacho alipromise watu na wanataka aende nyumbani. And I saw today JB Muturi at Gikomba, the former AG, alisema even if we take Ruto home, even if us as Kenyans vote and take Ruto home, they will go for him in Sugoi and take him to court, arudishie watu mali yao yenye ali. So he shouldn't think that akishatoka kwa kiti he will go scot free. He will pay for everything that he has done. Niliona akisema Ruto tutamnyoa bila maji, maji being shaved without, imagine kunyolewa na wembe na ujewekewa maji kwa kichwa. How to be? So Kenyans are in a situation where they are, do I term it as angry, or they are in a state whereby they feel like enough is enough and this person must go home. Apart from Ruto, in the same event at Gikomba Market, Gachagua combined Ruto and Sakaja. Akasema that Sakaja ndiye anaungana na Ruto kuumiza watu. Akawaambia the amount of acres that Ruto is planning to steal, and we also saw the former aspirant of, just a moment. Sorry for the interruption. So as I was saying, we also saw the former aspirant pale Gikomba, the former aspirant for Nairobi Millicent Omanga, currently pia anataka kugombea kiti cha women rep Nairobi kupitia chama cha DCP. She also spoke. He was like, I was together with Ruto, naomba watu wa Gikomba mname. Ilikuwa ni meeting ya kuomba or something, because I also saw Gachagua aliomba sama. He was like, I'm sorry for misleading you, we came here with Ruto tukawaambia nini. And Omanga also was asked the people for forgiveness, because he was like, nilikuwa na rais pamoja tukaingia, lakini I think I saw the other day Omanga also giving a story of venye Ruto aliwadanganya as women, walimsaidia hivyo akaingia kwenye kiti, but when he reached there msimamo, okay, yeah, sure. When Nanio reached there, karibu msimamo, let me just paste the link. Omanga was like, Ruto betrayed women, because venye alifika pale akatoa Linda Mama, akatoa nini, and yeah, and she's not the first person that have had a complaint, because there are certain people who have been in UDA, but since they saw the government is not doing what it promised, it power, watoka apology citizens. Msimamo kidogo tu na kupestia link pale. There is link. Rigiji mama pia kwa watu for happened. And we also saw kando na, I'll just bring this thing katikati ya hiyo discussion because it's one of the things that Rigiji talked about policy, prisons and NPS like being moved kupelekwa kwa into SHA. Akawaambia wachunge sababu watateka sana. And in the meeting we saw the police, they have been put under SHA, under inaitwa usalama cover. And usalama cover is cover like 1,300 and 134,423 police officers together with their families. So, and SHA said that they get up to almost 2.5 million to the police ambao wanaweza kuwa wanataka kutibiwa nje ya nchi. And on that regard, we saw Rigathi Gachagua today in Gikomba akisema that yesterday after ametoka kwa matanga Kirinyaga, polisi walimpigia simu, alipata ya police wakimwambia like as Rigathi said is like the police were crying saying that they do not want to go in Ulama cover which is under SHA, and then like they have been removed from the insurance and been transferred to SHA. So Rigiji was saying it's like the police contact him saying we don't want to go into this ninio. And also he has said that the teachers also wale wa kotu na Kupet Anat, they also called him complaining of the same, and Rigiji was like they are also transferred from Minet which is the insurance ya walimu, kupewa to the Asha, but Rigiji was this people should take care both so we can see the groups of people that have been put under SHA because it's like a public service medical fund, and yeah, which is obviously established under the treasury. So msimamo uniski sai, hujasikia chochote ambacho nimesema? Amjanisikia kuanzia wapi so that ni wapi nilianza katika so that maybe I can, unaweza niambia tu hapo comment section pale nilianza katika so that I can go back and touch on the same. Let me just get ninio pale kwa comment section. Msimamo, you can just confirm pale ambapo hujasikia so that I repeat. Let me add you to the stage. Yeah. Karibu Msimamo. You can unmute your mic.
Naam dadangu, sio kama unanipata upande huo. Unanipata?
Let me just give me a minute. Anakatika kidogo, lakini wacha, najua ni problem ni ile. Let me jump to another device yenye ta make sound ikue audible and then I tell you. It's just like 1 minute ndio nikusee vizuri on the other device. I think hapa naweza ongea, naweza kusikia.
Haya, kama unanisikia utathibitisha. Naona niambie sasa, niko sawa.
Hapa sasa uko sawa, nakusikia vizuri.
Sawa, asante. Na wewe kwanza pokea zangu. Kisha nimshukuru Mungu tena kunipa uwezo haswa, kuniwezesha haswa kufika hapa tena kwenye kipindi chetu hiki, so kuyaeleza yalivyo na tutazungumza yalivyo. Unajua dadangu, mimi niko na wasiwasi kwanza, kabla ya Gachagua ikombana wote na utamu wote huo, lakini hebu nitoe kaka za masikio. Vipi, mbona nikambaye ndugu yangu Kindiki sasa mambo yanaenda segemnege? Na kauli zake hizi ambazo amezizungumza katika mikutano miwili mfuatilia, inanipa maswali kwamba kulikoni hivi, kweli atasimili aswa mpaka 2027 ama tayari sasa hivi ashakuwa gogo, maana alitumika kama dau kisha akawafikisha watu ufukweni, na sasa hivi amebaki aswa pale ubangoni akiachwa hapo kama gogo.
I've just seen Kindiki today in Meru. Then he was saying that even the deputy president role is very temporary. So I'm not meant to be there forever. And he was like, even for my brother, he is my brother. And hata kama amenitusi mimi nimemsamee as the mzee of Mturincheke. I'm not then I was like, is it that Kindiki has already sensed something that 2027 hayupo? Nimeona hicho msimamo ni kama Kindiki sasa penye amefika.
Ndio maana naambiwa dadangu, usiache mbachao
kwa mswala upita ama hivyo.
Hebu nawe hapo, hongera zaidi.
Kiswahili na kimanya.
Ngoja mangu yani kauacha mkate kisa, yani kauacha mkate kisa ni mbirimbi, ambapo hapo ndo alijizima data, kwa sababu alikuwa ni aache mbirimbi kwa ajili ya mkate, lakini sasa yeye kaacha mkate kwa ajili ya mbilimbi. Sasa sio kama ulikuja pwani ukaziona haswa mbilimbi zilivyo, lakini vile vile na utamu wake jinsi zinavyo taste ile chachu ya mbilimbi, alafu ikombine na mkate. Sasa sio kama hapo, kwa nini alikimbilia mbilimbi badala ya mkate? Ndio hili yote tisa, mwiba wa kujidunga au na hauumizi, lakini vile vile lakini vile vile vita vya panzi pia ni furaha kwa kunguru, kwa sababu mountain sasa inakuwa full locked. Lakini vile vile uzuri zaidi tukistaajabu ya Musa, wacha tuongojea Firauni, maana wote hawa walilala na mgonjwa wote. Kindiki walilala na mgonjwa na Gachagua walilala na mgonjwa. Ndio maana sasa hivi Gachagua ameuwasha moto. Sasa sijui kama kweli hili litatimilika la Kindiki kuweza kutimuliwa. Sasa sijui kama kutakalika hapo ndani, maana nadhani tutapata mengi. Ni patamu, maana siku ya kufanyani dada yangu vitu yote kuteleza. Asante kwako Vivian.
Lakini umeona pia leo nanio Ruto has been in Nyeri and he was telling the people of Nyeri, nyinyi watu wa Mlima Kenya siwezi waacha. Mimi ni mjinga niwaache na nyinyi ndio mliniweka kwenye hii kiti? Mimi ni mjinga kweli niwaache? And then I saw Governor Mutahi Kahiga who was a great follower of Rigiji praising Ruto there sana, akisema some of the instances that Ruto has ever come in on his way, and he was like let those who are continuing to make noise, but the president is as like president anafanya kazi mzuri, hata amenisaidia hili na hili, sijui hata nilikuwa na issue gani nikampigia simu akanisaidia. So you wonder this person amekuwa follower wa Rigiji damu, this Mutahi Kahiga, and then suddenly Ruto amekuwa malaika wake. So do you think it is because Rigiji amewaambia akikuja hapa mlima kuleni pesa yake, lakini kura msimpe? So yeah, the same pia imeibua maswali because tumemwona leo akiwa kwa ngome ya Rigiji huko Nyeri, ndo kwa kina Rigathi, akiwa pale Odhaya.
Lakini sasa unajua, ukitaka kujua ukweli, tazama pale mwanzo wa jambo litakuashiria ni kweli alikuwa kule, lakini kafikizia kanisani kwanza. Kwa hivyo ule mkutano ulikuwa ni mkusanyiko wa makanisa. Hiyo tayari na kuonyesha kwamba haikuwa tu labda ni makanisa tu ya Nyeri, ni nje haswa na pale haswa. Kwa hivyo walikuwa wamekusanyana pale, then tuli katika ujumbe wa wale MCAs walikuwa wamepata nafasi ya kuzungumza pale haswa. Kuna bwana alikuwa anakaribisha pale, utaliwafika kwamba pale ni mchezo tu wa mgeni njoo mwenyeji apone. Kwa hivyo kwangu halijabadilisha tafsira ya mawazo ya mtu wa mlima, kwa sababu watu bado na yale ambayo Gachagua anazungumza anayazungumza, lakini vile vile ile nguvu ambayo ameongozwa sana kiongozi alikuwa kiongozi wa taifa Uhuru Kenyatta. Hapo ndipo ambapo mawazo ya watu wa mlima wapo, na ni ngumu kuweza kuyatoa pale kwa kudhania kwamba labda pengine haswa wao wataweza kuacha mkate kisa ni mbilimbi. Kwa hiyo nadhani ule mkutano ulikuwa wa mgeni njoo tu mwenyeji apone, kama kauli ya Mheshimiwa Gachagua kwamba kuleni jamani, maana ni za kwenu, lakini mjiunge tu, mkipewa kimbizeni sokoni, nweni vyote vile, ila tu hiyo hela usijaribu kwenda nyumbani kuweka, but ukishaitia mkononi, kimbia sokoni, nenda ufanye shopping ya nguvu, siku ipite. Kwa hiyo nadhani hilo tu mimi kimtazamo wangu. Asante.
Na haya mambo umesikia wakisema that the police have been put under a new cover under NHIF, which is called the usalama cover, like more than 134 police officers and their families, and then the SHA will be paying up to 2.5 million for the officers who need to be treated outside the country. And this is a public service medical cover placed under SHA, where it includes the teachers, the NPS, and the police who are prison. And we have seen Gachagua today at Gikomba saying hiyo mambo ya polisi kumpigia kulalamika, crying that they have been transferred from the APA insurance to that ninio. Do you think there is a plan, there is something that is fishy for them being transferred into under that cover, or is it just that they want something good for the public servants? Because Rigijia said they have been calling him complaining, so I don't know which is which. And today Murkomen was like, oh, now they are placed under this cover, everything will be ninio. And yeah.
Hapa swali langu haswa na civil servants wakiwemo haswa polisi na walimu,
Yeah.
cover itakatwa direct kutokana kwa mshahara wao, ama ni wao wenyewe hiari yao waamue wacha tulipe, ama itakatwa hata lazima ikatwe? Maana nikipata hilo jibu ndo nitajenga hoja yangu, kwa sababu kama ni vile vile tu kama mwananchi anaambiwa ni lazima nenda ukate SHA, basi tumeshazoea. Lakini sasa isitokee kwamba ni lazima haswa kwenye mshiko wa mtu pia aupate kwamba kumeingizwa kitu ambacho kitakuwa kinaondoa haswa hili, labda pengine katika hii hali haswa hawa walimu na madaktari wanaosema kwamba wameingizwa katika huo mkumbo. Je, ni kwa nyepesi slip zao ama ni ile mandatory kwamba lazima wakati on their faith kwa hiari yao? Labda hilo nitoe takaza masikio yangu. Sio kama unanipata vile, na sio kama umepata, na pia swali langu umelipata, kwamba nitarejea tena kwamba vipi haswa hawa wameingizwa haswa katika masuala na SHA. Sawa, katika hali ya kuweza kulipa haswa SHA ni through their personal account automatical, inalikuwa kule, ama ni hiari yao wenyewe haswa, wakisitia mshiko basi wanaweza wakakata ama wasikate, ama ni lazima wao mandatory, maana itakatwa lazima? Kwa sababu hapo ndo kwenye hoja baadaye nitajenga hoja tuone kwamba kwa nini wameingizwa. So kwako bila kama unanipata. Lakini nimekupoteza vile, na mimi nitatimka hapa kwanza, uweke mitambo yako sawa, alafu nitarudi kama Mungu akijali.
Msimamo, unanisikia sasa hivi? Hello? Oh, good. I think I also lost my network na msimamo pia amepotea. Lakini natumai ulipo msimamo, sijui kama ulinipata nilivyokuwa nikizungumza. I was just saying that under the usalama cover, the contribution of the police for SHA will be deducted from their salary, 2.75% from their gross salary. Yeah. You can just confirm if you've heard
Sasa
me because
hapo ndo kwenye nakupata hapo ndo kwenye kizungumkuti sasa, kama itakatwa,
or you
sababu
thought
how
like
many
it
teachers ni walimu wangapi nafikiri wapo katika taifa letu, na ni askari wangapi ambao wapo katika taifa letu?
or at first you
Unanipata?
thought that yeah. So I was just asking a question. At first you thought that it is SHA paying just for them, like it's just a scheme where SHA will be paying for them and not deducting them from their salaries.
Yeah, unanipata, lakini kwanza unanipata so?
Nakupata.
So asante kwa jibu langu kwamba wataondolewa katika mishahara yao. Hapa ndo kwenye kizungumkuti sasa. Nadhani mimi kimtazamo wangu haswa nikikombani yale ambayo amezungumzwa na Mheshimiwa Gachagua kwamba isha kwa muda fulani hivi miezi kadhaa hivi mambo yataharibika zaidi. Then nafikiri kauli ambazo zimetoka kwa wale ambao wanayeamini kwamba hakuna kitu kama hiyo, kuna kitu kitaanguka fine. Hakitaanguka vipi? Mbona kumekuja huu mpango mpya wa kuweza kuondoa haswa hela haswa kwenye mishahara. Unajua jambo hili si lazima mandatory. Mi kwangu si lazima, kwa sababu halina tija. Jambo la hospitali ni jambo ambalo haswa najua fika kwamba ni letu, lakini sasa tuone kwamba labda hiyo huduma iwe inapatikana kikamilifu. Kama huduma hakuna kama hivi ambazo mnazipata, alafu mshahara wa mtu pia umechukuliwa pasipo tax, imechukuliwa SHA imechukuliwa, unambakishia nini kwanza huyo mwajiri? Lakini je, hii pesa wataichukua kwa walimu na mapolisi, wataiweka wapi? Hazina yake msimamizi nani? Mwananchi ataionaje kwamba iko katika sehemu salama, ikiwa wameweza kushindwa na kujibu tetesi zile ambazo Mheshimiwa Gachagua amezungumza kuihusu haswa SHA? So kwa kweli nafikiri mkusanyiko wa hizo hela ndizo ambazo zitaweza kusaidiana na SHA ionekane nafanya haswa. Kwa hiyo kwa kukimbilia kwenda kutafuta huo mfuko, basi siku nyingine ni kwa walimu na maaskari. Katika kukusanya idadi yao, ile uongo si kazi, kutapatikana chochote kitu kitasasa. Shikilia kidogo SHA ionekane kwamba inafanya, maana mambo asije akaharibika, kisha siku hayali uzungumzwa na kiongozi Gachagua yakawa sasa yameingia mashikioni haswa kwa mwananchi, maana mwisho wa siku itashusha thamani pakubwa haswa upande huu ambao unaamini kuwa SHA inafanya. So nafikiri mimi ninaweza nikaweka katika hilo hali kimtazamo wangu. Fikra zangu niambia kwamba mkusanyiko huu zitakusanywa sio kwa walimu na kwa maaskari, but huu mfuko huu angalau uzibe jahazi, uokoe jahazi kwamba already linazama hili, at least lisustain, ili kupanguana na kile ambacho kimezungumzwa na Mheshimiwa Gachagua kwamba SHA haiendi popote, SHA inaelekea kwangu. Mtazamo wangu, asante.
Pole, nimekuwa naongea na nilikuwa nimemute mic. Oh, I've been thinking all this time that you're hearing me. Oh, I was asking, JB Muturi said today that even if Ruto is going home, he should be held accountable for his actions. Hope the Kenyan courts will be much enough to bring him so that he can pay for everything that he has done for the people of Kenya, even if he'll have atakuwa ashaenda home after being taken back to Sugoi. And also, msimamo, another question that I would like or I wanted to ask you is that just based on what has happened to the traders of Gikomba, is that what should the hustler do? Because the person who was saying that he's a hustler and he'll take care of the welfare of the hustlers is the one who is at war with the hustlers. Now then, what should the hustlers do? Sijui kama mnanipatapata. What should really the hustlers do? Because the hustlers are the ones suffering. Tumeona hapo Gikomba, the small scale traders, they are suffering. Tukiangalia pale mama mboga wana watoto shuleni, huku nje the mama mboga that are other hustlers wako na watoto shuleni, karo ya shule imepanda. If you look at the universities, sahi sijui kama utapata mama mboga akipeleka sahi mtoto university, fee sahi imepanda. Sijui kama they can be able to afford it on their own, considering the fact that karo ya university it has gone high, considering that HELB sahi kuna wanasema hawapati loan za HELB because this hustler hata kama angekosa sana mtoto wake angechukua HELB aendelee na masomo ya chuo kikuu, lakini sasa hata sahi hiyo HELB haipatikani, fees nayo ndio hiyo imepanda. Haya, the hustler still akitaka kwenda hospitali kutibiwa amelipa hiyo ninio, amefanya kazi yake hapo small business yake, definitely government iko na taxes zake, and the taxes for now, the taxes in Kenya are so unattractive. All the taxes are so unattractive. If you look at the personal income tax, si kuzuri. And all the other taxes, VAT, all the forms of taxes have increased. Mpaka unashangaa. Yes, we are paying these taxes, but are the taxes being utilized in the correct manner by this government which they are supposed to be utilized? So that is just my question. If he is at war with the people that you are saying is in the same group with them, then what should a hustler do? Should a hustler go and steal the way he is stealing? Sababu kama unawakandamiza and they are doing their legal deals, mtu anafanya kazi yake legally in order to feed their family, mtu anafanya kazi yake legally in order to take his or her kids to school, mtu anafanya kazi yake legally in order to pay rent, mtu anafanya kazi yake legally in order to cater for his or her family's basic needs, and then you are going to ingilia kile kitu chenye huyo mtu anafanya, hata kile kidogo chake unataka kukichukua. afanye nini? As I wait for your answers and I also wait for Msimamo to come back, we saw the incident of Samburu governor yesterday, and governors being summoned by the public servants, by the Public Accounts Committee in the Senate, is just to seek accountability on how the funds that are being dispatched to the counties are working. But some governors, I don't know if it's just they are hard-headed or they fear being questioned about how they have been utilizing the funds dispatched to the counties. If I think this might. Sorry. As I was saying, I don't know if these governors are hard-headed to appear before the Public Account Committee, or most of them have been involved in some of the issues that have caused like some of them wamekula pesa za county na wamefanyia their own things, and then they fear being questioned on those issues is the reason as to why they don't wanna come when they are being summoned. Because I think I can just put a video of what Senator Boni Khalwale was saying today about how Governor Fernandez Baraza has been embezzling the funds of Kakamega County. And when you look at Kakamega County, when Governor Oparanya was still the governor for Kakamega County, he had started some developments, even roads zilikuwa zimeconstructiwa, things were going on vizuri. But when you find nowadays the engineers in that county, they are like, no, afadhali vile Oparanya alikuwa. Tulikuwa tunafanya kazi, but he used to pay us vizuri and kazi ilikuwa inaendelea, but since Governor Baraza came, most of the ninio zilisimama, barabara zilisimama, and some of the engineers who are working on the stem have been saying that they go even some month without being paid, and you're like, where is the money really going? So I saw a video of Boni Khalwale today trying to kukosoa uongozi wa baraza, and Khalwale was like, baraza should be frog marched from Kakamega to Nairobi, aeleze kila kitu ambacho kinafanyika about hii pesa. So we've all been insisting on the matter of fagia wote, because recently I've been seeing this Governor Baraza even during the ODM Linda Ruto faction when they had their conference the other day. I saw Governor Baraza saying that Kakamega tunakaribisha Ruto. He has now become the friend of Ruto because pia yeye amekuwa looter. He's been looting from the people of Kakamega. And I'd just like to play that video so that we also see how these governors are embezzling funds. They are all dominated by greed. if he
for public good. Similarly, forget about that drama. What we are talking about is accountability. Just like Parliament insists and this is exactly what governors do not want. They want to do not lose track. Let me appeal to the people of Kakamega. People of Kakamega understand the Public Accounts Committee. Governor Barasa is lucky I don't sit there. If I was sitting there, I would have added more oomph into what they did to him when he came. But that's for reasons. So that the people of Malaba can be told what happened for construction of Tumbeni Dairy Factory, where we had 78 high-grade dairy cows. He should come and tell us what happened to the 100 million. He should come and tell us how did the animals drop from 78 to today 17 animals. These people come in the night,
So, it's been an issue since the week began. Governors refusing to adhere to the Senate summons. And all that, the reason as to why they have been being summoned by the Senate Public Committee is because the Senate just want to seek accountability for what the money has been being used for, and for the people of every county to know how every expenditure is going on in their countries, in their counties, because yeah, as I earlier said, the funds have been being embezzled, the government, and in the same issue at the Senate at the same time, I also saw Sifuna saying that governors are not ready to answer, are not ready to come and explain to their people what they have been doing with money, or rather to provide answers to their Public Accounts Committee of the Senate. But on the other hand, very fast come and beg senators to raise some issues when they want some things that benefit them. I'd also like to play a voice of senators are being blamed for calling in governors, and I think, I don't know if any one of you come up with a governor wenu for the Public Accounts Committee, some people like Orengo appear for the Public Accounts Committee, and yeah, once your governor go there, your county yako ina perform while your county is lagging behind. Because Sifuna said even the small issues and are being to the right, and the senators the issue, the small Nyandarua, because he was like, it is only the senator of Nyandora who came and said thank the senators, but these other senators who had brought the issue concerning of how they would like senators kuwatetea, yeah, it was only the governor of Nyandarua who said thank you and they need to the senators. So I'd also like a nini of Sifuna, because I think when I go to meaning the video, I lose the network haraka.
If you are smart, hardworking, and planning to study in Canada, but the cost feels out of reach, Passage is here for you. Support qualified. The chair of the COG, Governor Jir, I am because ODM as his SG. I am very ashamed. But four would have his name on the headline. Some abusing him, some praising him. So it comes with the territory. I don't have any issue being criticized. And you can also not threaten Sifuna. I have heard the governor of Samburu saying he's ready to face me. I am still a member of the County Public Accounts Committee. The duel that people want to see is not a physical duel. It is for you to go to the Public Accounts Committee and answer the questions that we as a Senate are going to ask you to answer. Mr. Speaker, we have just of late, this is a very recent development. The Senate suddenly become a place.
when we came to this house. In fact, it is this fourth Senate, Honorable Speaker, that for the first time pushed the amount of money that goes to counties under the share revenue up to the 400 billion threshold. It had never been done. It is us. Mr. Speaker, when these governors want things, they look for us to be able to push for them. I was again embarrassed to see COG sitting in this chamber before our finance committee chaired by Senator Roper, coming to tell us to help them to push what the national government has proposed in this financial year from 420 to 450. In fact, Speaker, if you have noticed, these days I don't even talk about that 450 billion that I used to sing every day in that expired MOU. Because I'm asking myself, 450 billion to go to Governor Jir. 450 billion to go to Governor Jir. And these are the governors who are buying supplements for wild animals. I am conflicted because I swore an oath to defend counties and their governments, but not these ones. Not these ones, Honorable Speaker. When they had a problem with RML and the National Assembly was refusing to release money for roads, they came to Sifuna, this house, they came to the Senate. We were fighting for them. In fact, it is them who ran away. In fact, these governors, I am telling you, Speaker, there is a total collapse of leadership of the COG. They will come here when they have problems. We agree that because we are the devolution family, we will fight this fight together. When they are pulled somewhere behind the tent there, you know they have reached an agreement with the National Assembly or with the state. They abandon the fight, Mr. Speaker. And then they leave the senators hanging there. Speaker, it is this house, the meeting of the Public Accounts Committee, that wrote 16 billion Kenya shillings in pending bills from Nairobi County books. We sat down with the then Minister for Treasury at the onset of this house and the Comptroller of State House, and we told them, in no answer terms, that the bills that were incurred in a mess were not going to be paid by the county government of Nairobi. That was the Senate. That was Sifuna. That was the County Public Accounts Committee, Honorable Speaker. They came to us crying that because of the exchequer releases, when they delay in paying VAT and not VAT, pay remittances to KRA, they are paying for that late remittance. It was this committee called County Public Accounts Committee. It was Sifuna. It was this Senate that sat down with the Ministry of Finance or the Treasury, and we agreed that because the problem is not originating from the county side, that because late exchequer releases are a reality, you cannot delay giving us money. Then when I delay remitting payee for my LG on top, it was this house that they are now demonizing. Honorable Speaker, it is house that they're demonizing that ensured that we passed a law here for financial autonomy for the assemblies, because the governors were running circles around the assemblies with the famous Form C, Honorable Speaker. So we have done a lot of things. Speaker, there was the other one of, I think it was for share revenue of address. There was a question of late exchequer releases. Speaker, whenever there is a delay, you will hear the national government saying we are up to date. And yet the governors come to our committee and tell us, no, we are behind 3 months. This is the question. How is it possible that they only come to us when they want things? That we are only good people when we are pursuing what they consider their interests. But now, because we want to ask for accountability for the same amounts that we fight for, they are demonizing us. Speaker, we were convinced this financial year by the so-called small counties. I remember the small counties like Lamu and the others, and Viga, and they came together and told us that we need to introduce in the new formula an affirmative action amount. The only governor from those 13 counties who has appeared before us and actually has said thank you for the fight for devolution is the governor for Nyandarua. He is the only one. He is the only one. These other ones continue to insult us. Even up to today,
They are still calling us names, Honorable Speaker. So we have told them that because we are also politicians, we can throw down. You know, these suits, Honorable Speaker, they are just close. We can remove them and just wear magwanda rasmi ya vita. Nobody should think that because Sifuna wears a suit every day, that in certain circumstances, if need be, I cannot throw around. I mean, they should not threaten us. So, what we were objecting to yesterday, and I want the country to understand this, you have a governor who you have given resources. The Constitution requires him to come and account for those resources. You have invited him once. You have invited him twice. You have invited him thrice. You issued summons to him. You have actually sent the police to look for him. He has refused to appear before the County Public Accounts Committee and before the Senate. Then he comes to the Senate to create content for his TikTok out here. And yet there is a live court, a live matter before the committee and a live arrest warrant. As a lawyer, and you know, everyone who the chief of the village there, chief has put a notice saying, if you see this gentleman, you tell him we're looking for him. And classes around him, there are a body of journalists are making content for his Facebook page. I mean, we expect us to sit here and I'm sending some likes. It is not possible. It is not possible. And I am a member still of the public account under the question, and you cannot threaten anyone. I am available. I am available. We are going to do a schedule, Honorable Speaker, as we told this House, for the meetings of a public committee to enforce fiduciary accountability by summoning and compliance sanction fine, including
able to hear what Sifuna is saying. Because wanatumia za county kufanya mambo yao. Sasa pesa do development is not being like a manner, and you maybe everyone, we all come from different counties, so sijui kama governor wenu since we elected them, I don't know kama governor wenu amewafanyia maendeleo ama the government who are refusing to be summoned by the Senate public account money that is always allocated hi, good dear. As a so all this time you've not been able to hear me? You can just confirm there, good ear, if you are able to hear me. Yeah. Perfect. So you can just confirm to me, good ear, the point of which you, the point at which I was breaking and you couldn't hear me clearly, so that I can, yeah. So that I can just start from there, but you can also confirm to me if you had the video that I was playing, the audio that I was recently playing of Senator Sifuna talking about the governors, not some of the governors not being accountable and not wanting to come to the Public Accounts Committee to answer on how they have been using the funds that are being allocated for the county. Were you able to hear Senator Sifuna's speech when he was saying the governors are only looking for them when they want to push something for them, but when it comes to accountability, they are not able to come and answer the questions? You can just confirm in the comment section if you heard Sifuna's speech. Also, you didn't hear anything that I played. Like you've not had anything good ear from the start, or from which point? Is it from when I started, or from a certain point of the podcast? Ni hapo kwa Sifuna pekee haukusikia ama kutoka mwanzo? So if it was Sifuna's video, I think I can just exchange devices and play this with the other one. Yes, Goody, I'm there. I was just trying to fix this so that I can play.
Cannot suspend constitutional imperatives. You continue appearing before the committee, and once that is done, in fact, a date was set. But I am telling you, Speaker, as I was saying earlier, this entire problem is a point to the total collapse of the the chairperson. Who would you believe a member of the council, like a governor, would appear in parliament buildings, there where we hold our meetings, ready to appear before the public accounts committee? And she is being called and threatened by the chair of the COG to leave the premises of parliament. I want to tell the country, the problem is the chair of the COG, Governor G. And I am ashamed because he's a member of parliament. As his SG, I am very ashamed of the governor of Wajir. Speaker, I want to assure Governor Senator Khalwale that I personally don't mind being criticized for the work that I do. My late boss, Honorable Raila Odinga, there was one thing he kept telling me, is that the sooner you must grow up. Some abusing him, some praising him. So it comes with the territory. I don't have any issue being criticized. And you can also not blame him. I have heard the governor of Samburu say he's ready to face me. I am still a member of the County Public Accounts Committee. The duel that people want to see is not a physical duel. It is for you to come before the Public Accounts Committee and answer the questions that we as the Senate are going to ask you to answer. Mr. Speaker, we have just of late, this is a very recent development that the Senate has suddenly become a bad place. When we came to this house, in fact, it is this Senate, Honorable Speaker, that for the
I think I've been trying to share the screen, but my Neo was interrupted. But I had earlier explained on about what Sifuna is saying. He's probably saying that the governors always runs to them once they want something to be approved by parliament, and kama members of parliament wamekataa ku approve and Neo for them wao wanakimbia Senate to ask for help if anything is for their own benefit or their own interest. But vile imefika hao kukuja ku explain to the accounts committee about how they are using the money is where they draw the line. But to the main topic also, Goody, I hope you were there when we were discussing about what happened today in Gikomba venye United Opposition wamekuwa wakimsuta Ruto, na pia how polisi wamekuwa wanatransferiwa and being put under the new cover which is under SHA. Wamekuwa wanatoka from their APA insurance being transferred to SHA to be covered by the usalama cover, but still it will be deducted from their salaries, and also teachers, because are you able to hear me now, good dear? Yeah, so there was a certain question that I asked at some point, where I asked that what should the hustler do now, because it is the hustler who are it is the hustlers who Ruto is at war with, and what can they do, because wafanyabiashara wadogo saa hii ndio wanaingiliwa, wameset biashara kidogo, wamebomolewa, wameset biashara kidogo, unakusikia sijui land gani imechukuliwa na mheshimiwa gani. As we saw today, the MCA of Kipkaren pale Eldoret alikuwa amegrab land ya watu, amejenga hapo mijengo yake almost 100 houses, and the people decided kuchukua sheria mkononi kwenda huko wakabomoa hizo nyumba zote in less than in like an hour. So yeah, and we've also seen President Ruto today in Nyeri. Ameambia watu wa mlima yeye si mjinga, wasahau because they voted for him na yeah, Governor Mutahi Kahiga akammiminia Ruto sifa pale kwa trip yake Nyeri, as we saw. Yep. I just like to get your contributions on the same. So yeah. Goodia is saying Ruto lied to the hustlers, giving them 500 shillings to start a business. This was a red flag. Yeah. So the question that I was asking Goodia is that, yes, hustlers walidanganywa, but now what should the hustlers do now that walidanganywa? We know we have a the only way to remove him is through the ballot, but for the time being, what should the hustlers do? Because he seems to be anaingilia karibu kila sekta ya economy. Utapata kawa ni hustler hiyo a quarter an acre of viewers that you've struggled to buy ndo amekujia, then what? I see. Ruto lied to the hustlers, giving them 500 shillings to start business. This was a red flag. Yeah, the hustler fund. Can 500 I don't think in the current sahi 500 can only sustain a person for a day, right? Ama? Because kama for example you're working somewhere maybe unalipa transport ya 150 kwenda, unalipa transport ya 150 kurudi, that is 300. Uko penye utaenda kazi hautashinda njaa, you'll definitely eat lunch. Let's say that is 150. So after umekula lunch hivyo imebaki 50 shillings. Maybe sasa ukule sapa ya 50 shillings. Then what? So that 500 hustler fund imekusaidia aje? And then now nimeona ameintroduce nyota. I think the president is anajieka kwa some gambles to see. I really don't know, but yeah. That is where we have headed now as a country, because yeah, things are not pretty for both those who voted for Ruto and those who didn't. As long as you are a middle income citizen na kurudi chini, things are not pretty in this country. Imebaki sasa kukua hand to mouth. The salary that you're getting imekuwa sasa hand to mouth. Maybe sasa ku afford two basic needs: rent, food. Na sasa when it comes to, we'll be talking about your hustler fund yenye anapeana ya 500, and then ukifika sasa end month ukiangalia payslip yako and see what you've been paid, when you start paying the bills, things are not adding up. Tax yenye inachukuliwa na serikali imekuwa mingi kuliko tax inachukuliwa na serikali, sometimes sana inaenda kukua mingi kuliko mshahara ya watu. So where are we heading as a country? Goodia is saying if we had politicians who care about the public than themselves, Ruto would have gone by now. Yeah, he would have gone, but we've heard today that the politicians don't care about us, because today we've heard, and not even we've heard, there are certain politicians who are being given bribes by Ruto as long as wafanye chenye anataka, As long as okay. Um, as long as the politicians are doing what Ruto wants and he's showering them with money, they don't care about the people. And we also saw this during the finance bill when they were saying the politicians went to State House and then they were being given a certain amount of money and all that, which correctly shows that you are not even in their minds when they are conducting their things. Your role, yeah, them representing you, being your representative. They are not even taking it into consideration. As long as they have wameonyeshwa pesa, hiyo ingine ni mambo yenu. Hope I'm audible now to be heard. Hope I'm audible enough. Those in the comment section can just confirm because, yeah. The problem is that we don't have proper, Goodia is saying, the problem is that we don't have proper opposition. What do you mean, Goodia, by saying we don't have proper opposition? You feel like, which kind of opposition would you want? Or what do you mean by proper opposition? Oh, I get what you see. Like, is it that you feel like the current opposition that we have isn't enough strong, isn't enough strong to be bringing our grievances to the table or to help us solve our problems? Or you mean we don't have a functioning opposition? Good year, I'll just like you to clarify on the same. Well, tell me who are the opposition in Ruto's government. ODM is part of Kasongo's government. Yes, ODM is part of the opposition government. It is now the Linda Ruto. It's been termed as Linda Ruto. And yeah, there is a group that has come up. It's called United Opposition. And so you think, Goody, I think that we don't have proper opposition, even how Yonajita United Opposition. You feel like we need an opposition that is better than the United Opposition currently? I mean, an opposition to overlook what Kasongo does. So you think the current opposition isn't acting as a proper watchdog? United opposition are not in the government, are they? Are not in the government, how? United opposition. Welcome, Anne. I can see you there pale kwa comment section. And Anne is saying that united opposition is very strong, but Kasongo listens to none. Welcome, Anne. I can see you pale comment section. You're saying that the united opposition is not strong. The united opposition is very strong, but Kasongo listens to none. Not the Mwananchi, the Auditor General, Controller of Budgets, the clergy. He has gone rogue. Yeah, I agree with you. And the president has gone rogue because he acts like, wewe ule mtu wa so mtaniambia, after all I'm the president. So he's acting as if, let me say, he's acting the way he's been acting, and the things that he's been doing, he's even behaving like he's above the constitution. Because yeah, he's been acting as if he's, and you should also add the constitution there. The way you've said, the united opposition is very strong, but Kasongo listens to none. Not the Wananchi, the Auditor General, Control of Budgets, the clergy. He has gone wrong. You should also add there, he doesn't adhere nor respect the Kenyan constitution. Goodia is saying the 5 specialists are in the blood-based or broad-based government. They are aligned with Kasongo. Who are these specialists, Goodia? The 5 specialists. Who are these 5 specialists that you are talking about that are in the broad-based government? Is it those friends of yours that you always say they are out? Kina Samia, Kina Gladys Wanga, who is currently referred to as Suluhu? Or who are these 5 specialists? Good year. I just want to tell me these 5 specialists. Is it Wanga, Mbadi, Junet, and Oburu, or who are these 5 specialists that you're talking about? And also Goody, I don't know if you've heard about the current Usalama Force yenye imekuwa one of the covers that SHA unveiled today yenye itakuwa inasimamia polisi. Do you think it might be a new money laundering scheme? Because Rigiji said today that polisi wamempigia wakilia, wametolewa kwa AP insurance, wamewekwa kwa hiyo cover mpya yenye imeletwa na SHA. Do you think it's just a way of laundering money again? Or yeah, because the contribution will be deducted from the police salaries. Goody is saying some of the greedy and the tribal politicians have mentioned. So you mean this is Oburu, Wanga, Junet, Kaluma, and Badi. And they obviously have their own interest, because I've seen a video of Oburu saying, who has said they don't want the deputy president seat. And Joho ended up saying that kwa hiyo ugombeaji Joho was like, for presidency we know it's just one person who is Ruto, but for the deputy presidency hapo tutafinyana kidogo. And we also had Wanga talking pia anataka hiyo kiti. So it's like in one ODM, not one person wants to be the deputy president. And Junet also said that kama wataki kutupea deputy president, basi pia si tutasimamisha rais wetu. If Ruto atadanganya watu wa ODM, there will be a very big clash between that ODM and him. But I don't know, because Gachagua told them kama wanataka kuingia into some agreement with William Ruto, there are some of the things that they are supposed to consider. I don't know if they listen to him or they just want to go evil, because they won't like what will happen. Sababu president amekuwa tu mtu wa ku promise watu na kuninio. And recently we have seen Kindiki ashaanza kusema the seat is temporary, so ashajua 2027 hatakuwa kwa laini. Hii kiti ya deputy president inapiganiwa sana, but sisi kiti yenye mnataka ipiganiwe saa hii ni kiti ya president. Mtu mwenye anafaka kwenda home ni president. And the opposition must make sure wako very firm and strong. Make sure that the person they elect ni mtu mwenye ata make sure Kasongo ameenda home. But also I saw another video, there was another Gen Z saying that whoever replaces Ruto doesn't matter. All that we know is that Ruto is going home. Is that a valid point, ama it's something just coming from something that is coming from someone who doesn't know what he's saying? Is it Goody is saying Ruto should start by building the KPA proper houses than building a base of iron shade. Umesema Kenya Police wajengewe nyumba mzuri, wasiishi kwa Ruto tu. Goody is saying Ruto should not be given a second chance. Hakuna mtu anapea Ruto second chance, and I'm so nashangaa sana with these people who are shouting and chanting two-term, two-term. I really don't know what is wrong with them. I don't know if everything is okay at home for those people who are shouting two-term. Or they might be having some mental problem. I really don't understand them. Because where we have reached as a country and the things that we are going through, if he goes for another second term, then kama nchi tutakuwa tumeisha because you've also seen America wamesema they don't want to be involved in trading with Kenya because Kenya is very corrupt. Most of the investors are saying that it is only a few who have connections that can because Kenya is characterized by a lot of corruption. Anne is saying Pharaoh's heart has hardened or was hardened until some God sent his angel of death at night. We are also praying to God to come and rescue us from Kasongo's regime. Goody is saying welcome to the mafia state, Kenya. Yeah. And after we have sent Kasongo home next year after the elections, what else do you think we should do to him? Should we take him to court? And if we take him to court, do you think justice will be served? Because he himself anaongea it's like hiyo ni kiti yake amegongelewa hapo na msumari and he can't go home. He's acting as if he isn't shaken by anything. But at the end of the day, we as Kenyans, we are the one to decide. He's not the one to decide. Ruto should face ICC before reaching Sugoi. So Goody, you think our Kenyan courts can't administer the justice that ICC can administer? Because Ruto has ever appeared before the ICC. Si ati hajawahi fika huko amepelekwa. Do you mean that the Kenyan judiciary can't do can't serve us justice when we take Kasongo there? I can see Joseph on this side of the studio. Joseph, where were you yesterday? I didn't see you, or you came after I had gone.
Hello, Barari. How are you?
I'm fine.
Maybe I had left. I did not come. I did not see the live.
Oh, you didn't come yesterday?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I see.
How are
But hope
you?
you are
Kwani
doing
ni
well.
baridi unasikia mingi ama ni Nairobi kuna baridi mingi?
Nairobi kuna baridi. Kuna baridi huku, si mchezo.
Ah. Pole sana. I can see Gudi yako huko chini ananisalimia na msalimika tena sana.
Yeah, all I can say for now, Joseph.
Yes. Yes.
All I can say now is that
Yeah.
Kasongo ameiba joto, ndio maana nasikia baridi.
Pesa ya kunini ya tenda ya baridi ya joto imeisha. Alikula mpaka tenda ya joto.
Siku rahisi.
Tunaangalia tu mambo vile inaendelea. Nilisikia bibi akisema ati huyu anasemaga ni first lady, nilisikia akisema maombi ndio imefanya mvua ikanyesha.
Maombi ndio inasaidia nchi. Sijui mbona isaidii mzee wake.
Lakini akasema kuja kuwa na ukame kutoka wamekuwa kwa serikali nikashindwa, kwani hiyo ilikuwa January ilikuwa nini ama hiyo ilikuwa ni kitu kingine hatuelewi, kwa sababu January nakumbuka watu wakisema drought is a national disaster, ama yeye ajui kwa Kenya ama yeye anakujaga Kenya kulala tu,
ama ni sisi tuko nchi nyingine, hawa wako nchi nyingine.
labda Singapore sisi, labda walifinga Singapore, sisi ni sisi bado tuko Kenya.
Yeah.
So I've been fine. Today I've seen this Kasongo man talking, and you can even laugh. So right now is when he has known that the people who voted for him in Mount Kenya now they want to hear him, or he needs them. He has been tamaking almost 3 years. Right now is when he has known he needs the Mount Kenya support or what.
Yeah, he's been in Nyeri today. Nimeona amequote hadi Bible verse.
Hayo tumemzoea na Bible verse na maombi. Tumemzoea. Sasa hizi hawezi changanya watu, tulimzoea na hizo vitu zote na hizo shinanigan zote. Hata kulia sasa ndio amebakisha. Tumemzoea mpaka na yeye kulia tu. Ndio tumekojea kuona Kenya. Hiyo ingine ya ndani ya rogocho, hiyo tumezoea. Hiyo si kitu mpya. Na yeye kusema am I a madman? You know, you can never talk something when you are not that. Wewe siwezi kuja kusema kuhusu mambo ya wanawake ama mambo ya vile siwezi kukuja kuwa wa kwanza kuongea kuhusu FGM kama wanawake hawaongei. So ikimaanisha kama ninaongea maanisha hata mimi natandikwa kwa nyumba ndio ninatetea hizo mambo. So if you see one they say birds of a feather flock together. So if he's saying that he's not a madman, he knows the mad people who walk. I saw him talking about wachawi. No, waganga. I think he likes that word so much. He was also calling Raila Odinga a muganga. I think that word he likes so much. If you see somebody akitaja vitu sana kama hizo, I think anajua kule anaendaka. Yeah. So mine has not been, my week has been quite busy. So the politics, we saw what happened in Kirinyaga. I think today also this Kasaprano guy was in Kirinyaga. And they are trying to divide the Mount Kenya vote. And I think it is becoming very hard for them. You know, after Uhuru met with Rigathi Gachagua, I think things became very hard on them. And I'm waiting also they start abusing Uhuru Kenyatta. But you know, Uhuru even clearly said yesterday that he comes and talks only for one day and they talk about him for the whole 3 months. or 2 months. So these are the things that happens.
Yep. And have you seen this thing of the police, of which leo sijui soko ya Gikomba umeona kina
Yeah,
Rigathi opposition wakiwa huko, and there was something that okay, and at the same time, the same day today, the police were meeting. The SHA was launching the Usalama cover that is supposed to cover the police and the NPS and the prisons. Sijui kama umeona.
let me tell you Varari. Wacheni kuingia kwa photo ops na all the nini of Kasongo. I will tell you that these things that Kasongo is saying, they are all fake. Because I will start with somebody who is very close to medical cover. And my wife always had medical cover for walimu. Walimu walikuwa na medical cover yao. And you know that medical cover was taken out.
Your Minet.
Yeah, Minet. And now it was taken out. So there is no medical cover for them. So and even it was helping the police. Hata police ilikuwa inawasaidia hiyo Minet. So what are they saying right now that is going to help them if we remove the programs that were helping the police and the teachers? Acha tuache kudanganywa na hizi mambo kidogo kidogo za huyu jamaa. Huyu jamaa hakuna kitu ameshika ikakuwa mzuri. Na si hiyo tu ati hiyo nini analeta ndio itakuwa mzuri. Huyu jamaa alikuja akashika vitu zinaitagwa nini, akasema ati kuna kitu inaitagwa hustler fund. Unasikia kuna kitu inaitagwa hustler fund size? You never hear about it.
Ndio tumekuwa tunaongea hapa na Goodyear. Sema alikuwa ametoa 500 ya kudanganya watu kidogo. 500 kwa siku.
Sasa hizi tuko na ingine inaitwa Nyota na wacha nikwambie hiyo is a way of siphoning Kenyans money. Na Kenyans mimi unajua waga ninashinda mimi kwanza mtu anaweza kuja kuniambia kuhusu hizo upuzi zote za Nyota na nini. Namwambia wewe hata siwezi converse na wewe. Wewe sioni kama unajielewa wewe. Because there is no way utaniambia the first program failed, you are looking for another program that to empower youth. How will even that one succeed? The one which was before was very simpler than this one. So do you expect the simpler one ati ndio kufanya kazi ngumu ndio itafanya kazi? Then to top it off, hii SHA yake pia imekumbwa na mashida. Imekumbwa na mashida chungu zima. People are not even getting dialysis. People are not even getting the screening they want. Hakuna kitu inafanya kazi. And even he entered into NSSF. Did you not know that? Ameingia mpaka NSSF. And I don't know why he always has pain with people walikuwa wameandikwa kazi. I don't know is because alikuwa amelelewa bila viatu vile anasemaga. So akaona watu wakifanya kazi kwa hizi manini za serikali, civil servants, akakasirika nao.
Jana I've seen like 3,224 teachers complaining that they haven't got their pension. TSC nawaambia ati kama mnataka pension mlete payslip yenu ya kwanza, and the same TSC is supposed to be the one that is tracking those stuff. So I'm like, what is what?
Yeah, I can see even Goodyear telling you about chapati machine. I mean, this guy, I was used to his lies. Because the moment you could hear this guy talking in the marketplaces when he was doing campaign, you could know that all those things that he's telling people, they are all lies. There is no way you are going to go and place billions and billions that utajenga soko ya 50 billion when sijui wapi upatiane 50 billion ingine sijui ya nini. The money is not dish out like that. If you want to put these things into these development structures into place, you need to use the budget. This guy, even I don't know what he was talking about, because sababu mwenyewe alikuwa inside, lakini kama mpaka ajui budget vile inatengenezwa. He has been a whole deputy president for 10 years. He has also been a minister in times of Kibaki, and he was even sacked because of incompetence. And in the final term of the presidency of Uhuru, he was also cast out. So that tells me more of how the guy is. That tells me something about the guy. You cannot be that all those people who even Raila himself is the one who sacked Ruto, the first place. So you cannot tell me that those three people, they all of them, they were wrong. No, you cannot have three people wrong. Maybe one or two can be wrong, but that person, no, you cannot tell me that person is wrong. So all this hula baloo about sijui ati infrastructure kitty, all about these things. These are ways of siphoning money so that he can be able to do campaigns, and he can be able to, if he knows he's going to, because already he knows he's going home, so that he can be able to go out with a large payout. But
so he public servant funds yenye polisi na walimu wamewekewa ni penye pesa inaenda kuwa looted again.
Sasa si nimesikia ukisema ati amewekea polisi insurance nyingine ya medical. Utaweka aje insurance ya polisi ya medical na already ile walikuwa nayo ifanye kazi? Hata ni hospitali gani itakubali? Hata hiyo shaichukuliwagwi. Chasi hata ninaona watu wanapata shida sana kama imechukuliwa. Mahospitali zingine hazitibu. When you talk about SHA, Barari, what do you talk about? When you're talking about SHA, what you're talking about? When you talk about SHA, yes?
When you talk about SHA, you're talking about health. You're talking about something that, like you're talking about a medical cover, something that can, itasaidia utibiwe ukienda hospitalini unataka kutibiwa ama unataka kupima ugonjwa basi.
Yeah, so that's why I was asking that question. When you talk about SHA now, how do you talk about SHA and already a national hospital is in the deathbed? A national hospital by the name Kenyatta, for the first time it is in the deathbed. Ni hospitali iko kwa, unasikia ni hospitali iko kwa kitanda ya hospitali. Ni ukufa inakufa. Inataka kufanya resuscitation. That is the major hospital in Kenya. And it is dying. So what health are you talking about? When you're saying that is SHA and what health are you talking about? You know, let us be serious with some things that we play with. Kama kuna kitu ufai kucheza nayo kwa inchi. Nilikuja hapa nikasema ni mambo manne. Haufai kucheza na health ya inchi. Ya pili, haufai kucheza na security ya inchi. Ya tatu, haufai kucheza na the food basket or the agriculture of the country. And the fourth, haufai kucheza na education of the country. And now I'll add you a fifth one, which is not now. Those four are the main ones. Now the fifth one, you're not supposed to play with the economy of the country. Tell me anything that Ruto has not played with there. Tell me. What has Ruto not played with in the 5 things I've told you?
He has played with everything. For everything.
He has joked with all those things. And he has joked with agriculture. They were unable even to give farmers fertilizers. They brought even fake fertilizers. The second one, he has damaged the security of the country. When you hear a person being given a passport and is not a citizen of Kenya,
they are RSF.
what does that tell you? That a person has a passport of Kenya is not a Kenyan. Yani paka kienda nchi nyingine afanye uhalifu, wanasema ni Mkenya. Is a Kenyan doing this? And he has even opened borders. Why do you think the borders were closed? The borders were closed for a reason. Azikuwa zimefungwa juu hakuna sababu. The third one, he has joked with education. Education has been joked with. Anashinda akisema ameajiri walimu. Si kuajiri walimu Varari. Alikohasiwa kwa sababu the CBA ile ilikuwa imeandikaniwa na walimu. Ilikuwa imesema lazima walimu waandikwe kazi. Unaelewa? Lazima waandikwe kazi. Na wakikosa kuandikwa kazi kungekuwa na mgomo kubwa sana. Na unajua mgomo ya walimu si rahisi. si ya madaktari. Mgomo ya walimu inakuwa noma. Hiyo ndio kitu walikuwa wanaogopa. Haya, about economy, how is the economy of the country if you cannot even find some money to be able to do small things? Yani hata ukienda kuangalia tu makazi hakuna. Unajua kuna wakati tulikuwa, unajua si Kibaki si ati alikuwa mtu mzuri vile watu watasema ati alikuwa mzuri vile vyote, but the time of Kibaki in terms of economy, you could feel you had something in the pocket. Ungetokea tu hapo hata upate kahasu kidogo usikie kuna jamaa na mwaga mchanga, kuna jamaa anataka jengewa pale, kuna kazi tumeitiwa asubuhi. Hata saa hizi unajua kazi za mjengo zimekuwa ni kama kazi ya kutuma CV, ama ujui bali kukua mtu wa mkono wa kazi unatuma CV in a country where we are struggling everybody. So that's why I'm telling you, if he touched on those all key, those are called the softwares of a country. Varari, hizo ndio softwares of a country, those 5. And when you deal with those 5 as a president, you even don't need to deal with other things. Just deal with those 5. You see the other ones that are hardware. Sasa hardware ni mambo unasiaga barabara, stadium, railway. Those are hardwares of a country. But the software of a country, ni kama uende ukacheze na, sijui kama uko na laptop. Uende ukacheze na laptop yako software. Atucheze na programming ya laptop yako. Itafanya kazi?
Hapana.
Utabakia tu na shell ya laptop. Utabakia tu na hiyo kimwili ya laptop. Au utakuwa na kitu yote ya kuoneshana ati unaweza fanya kazi na hiyo laptop. So he dealt with the software, and that is why you see there is a problem. There is a really big problem in the country. And the only way we can be able to do this is if he leaves the office. Because the damage that he will continue doing if he is given another term, I'm telling you, it will take a long time to recover for Kenya. We take like the 24 years of Moi again to recover to a place we can be able to say now we are settled. I can clearly tell you, when Uhuru Kenyatta was the president, you know, the money of here, one real of here was 32. Do you know how much is it now? It is 35.6. So how does that mean? It means the currency has been weakened.
Yeah.
And it continues to be weakened. You know, people always look to the dollar, but we always look even in other currencies. The time that we had Uhuru presidency, sometimes instead, because of the war in Ukraine and what, but before the what do we call it? The pound was exchanging at 130. Right now, the pound is exchanging at 150, 160. So what does that mean? The currency of the nation has been damaged. It is being damaged, and it is being damaged completely. I'm even hoping that the war that is happening in the Middle East does not affect Kenya, because if it does, and it seems like it is going to affect, it is going to be a problem, because the currency is going to fall again. So this guy touched the software of the country. Hata hakuna mambo kubwa atiza kushinda kuexplain. Huyu jamaa aliguza vitu afu kufaa kuwa anaguza. Na hizo, wacha nikwambie Varare, NHIF haikuanza wakati ya Kibaki. NHIF ilianza wakati wa Moi. NHIF has been there through 3 presidents. Do you think they were stupid that they could have not changed NHIF? They could have changed it. But what did they see? A true economist, like the way Kibaki was, because he was an economist, he had run about economy. He never touched on, he just bettered the health sector. We did not hear him changing the names of, I don't know, that we change it from what to what, and we have a system which is worth I don't know how many billions. He never damaged the education that was still there. He never even changed the 844. What did he do? He came and bettered it and gave free education in primary. Uhuru came, he tried to give free education for secondary schools, and so many were able to get education. Even if there was something small they were paying, it was affordable. Do you understand how much you need? Huh?
You know, Joseph, today in Nyeri, I heard Ruto saying that ati hatukukuwa na walimu wanafunzi wa university walikuwa wanateseka. Then I was like, during Uhuru's time we were in campus, tulikuwa tunalipiwa like government sponsored students, we only used to pay like a little percentage school fees. But now I have some cousins of mine who are in campus today. My uncles and aunties are complaining about the amount of fee that they are paying, and also sahi help by tolewi. So vile nimesikia Nyeri leo akisema ati university students walikuwa wanateseka sahi wako sawa, I'm like, is this man mad or are we Kenyans ndo sisi tuko mad? Because we know what's going on. And the people of Nyeri were clapping.
When you are a president and you are doing things, when you think you are doing good things, you are not supposed to tell us that they are good. We are the ones who are supposed to tell you. Why do you need to come and tell us that everything is working? We know if it starts working, you'll even see. Why do you want to come and tell us? Why do you praise yourself so much that you have PhDs and you are able to do work? That you are the youngest president and you have PhD. Don't tell us. Don't even come to tell us that roads are being built and what. People will see it.
There are presidents who don't have PhD, like President Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, and the massive transformation that guy has done in Burkina Faso for the shortest time that he's been president. And he's not even going around telling people I've done this and that.
When you see a person praising himself and saying that he has done things, just know he has done nothing. Because I expect the citizens in the country are the ones who are supposed to be saying, na hiyo mzigo ya kulipa malone, na hiyo mzigo ya kufanya nini imepungua. You know, I always tell people, if you just want to know the country is headed in the wrong direction, hata usishinde ukisikia news, hata usishinde ukifanya mambo mingi, enda uchukue gazeti, enda kwa zile columns za auctioneers, angalia ni watu wangapi wameauctioniwa hiyo siku. That is the moment you know the country is not even headed. It has arrived in the wrong direction. Imeshafika. Tulianza kitambo, tulianza kuanzia 2022 ndio tulianza. Sasa hizi tumeshaingia, tumeshafika. Na ndio unasikia na shindana nikiambia watu, if we don't change this mess right now, we are not going to be able to get a time to change it. If this guy is going to force himself through to 2032, nakwambia sijui. I don't know where we will be in terms of our economy and what. Na mimi si ati niko na ukabila ama nini, lakini huyo jamaa akiendelea tu hivyo ata mess up this country even further. And you have seen the things that I have told you about the software, zimeguzwa zote. This guy even he has time to be. Unajua mimi sijaiona president anataka kushinda kwa magazeti. Wengi wao hata walikuwa wanajificha. Isipokuwa Moi ulikuwa unamsikia kwa gazeti. Kwanza Kibaki huko unamuona. Uhuru hata kuna wakati ilifika wanamuuliza kwani alienda wapi? Kwani alijificha wapi? Walikuwa wanamuita wa mashati hiyo wakati. Wanauliza amejificha wapi? So the real problem, the real question is, I always ask my friends this question and they never tend to answer me. I don't know if you are going to answer me. Where do you think, or what do you think could have happened if Ruto was in charge in the time of Corona? That is a question I always ask my friends. Wakati wa Corona, kama ni Ruto angekuwa ana drive hiyo mambo yote ya nini ya vile tunini wakati ya Corona, where do you think we could have been?
Hata chanjo haingefika.
That thing always buzzes my head.
Hata chanjo haingefika.
Tungekuwa wapi wakati ya Corona? Tungekuwa hata sijui kama sijui pale tungekuwa sijui watu wengi wako wameenda kuenda.
Was it in Italy penye watu walikuwa wamekufa paka masanduku those shortage of coffins?
Yeah, I think that is what could have happened in my own country. And if you want to know that this guy messed up, he's a messed up person, just start asking yourself those questions and you will see exactly what you need to do about this guy. Just check about the scandals that he has been involved in. Hawezi kuwa unaambiwa ati una involved na scandal na wewe hujafanya hizo scandals. There is no way utakosa kuwa kwa hizo scandals. It started with the maize in 2000, after 2007, 2008 there. He started with the maize scandal, and he went to also other scandals in the Ministry of Higher Education. He has been doing scandals all right and center when he was a deputy. Now he's still continuing with them. I think this was the worst blessing, if so it is a blessing that Kenya could have received. Ndio baraka, ninasemaga zile baraka huwezi ombea.
Which other question?
Naona Jodida akisema ati ingekuwa compulsory kudungwa shindano. Hiyo shindano hata tungezipata. Hiyo shindano hata mungezipata hizo. Acha hivyo. Hizo zingekuwa zinauziwa nchi nyingine.
I also see Teresia saying people need to sue Nairobi County and President Ruto for stealing Gikomba and other lands he has ruined, deprivating people's livelihood. Also, someone needs to take census of affected traders. You see, Joseph, sijui kama umeona leo, there is a certain MCA in Uasin Gishu alichukua land ya watu, hadi kulikuwa na some youth there, they have their own garage, he chased them. So he's been building and building and building. Alikuwa amejenga almost 100 houses. And the people have been reporting to the authorities, hadi kwa county commissioner, but nothing had been done. And then the people said, since the government doesn't want to react and listen to our grievances, we are going to deal with this MCA ourselves. They went to that grabbed land, wamebomoa hizo nyumba zote zenye huyo MCA alikuwa amejenga. They decided to take actions to their own hands.
There's something that I came and said here. I don't know if you are here at that time. I said that Kenya, as we continue like that, unaona vile watu wanaendelea kutritiwa na hizi maserikali na nini na ma leaders, there is a time it is going to reach, watu watakuwa kiendea vitu zao kwa hao mabunge, kwa nyumba zao, and there is nothing they are going to do about it. Hizo mashamba wananunua kubwa, people are going to build in those lands na hakuna kitu watafanya. That is a place where we are heading. I'm telling you, as the population continues to increase, kwa sababu sasa hizi tuko karibu kufika 60 million, those are things that will happen in the future. And you will come to tell me, utakuja kuniambia na ulikuwa unaniambia. People are going to take action. Wataingia hizo mashamba, hata kama ni za kina Uhuru, wataingia hizo mashamba na watajinyakulia. Watasema ni zao. Na hakuna kitu watafanya. Nothing. Hata hiyo Kilgoris ya Ruto hiyo, wataingia. Even if it will not take now, but I'm telling you in the future, watu watachukua, they take what is theirs. And I'm telling you, after that, those scenarios that are going to happen, hakuna mtu atataka kusikia naiba pesa za watu. Ulikuwa umeona ilikuwa imeanza na Gen Z, wakati ma MP fulani walichomewa manyumba. That style is going to come back. Hiyo. And I'm telling you, even if it is in the near future, hiyo kitu lazima itakuwa normal.
Yeah, because the local authority are not listening to the people. Ukienda huko, kama hao wenye walikuwa wanaenda kuripoti huko, maybe the MC has bribed all of them, so there is no action that they take.
Sasa hivyo ndivyo kuko. And you see even the northeastern leaders ni kama tu wakumbafu wa watu. They are all there clapping for the governor and saying that they support the governor. You wonder, you yourself, you are a Senate woman from that area. Instead of holding your governor accountable, you are there clapping that the governor is good, I don't know what. You cannot be called if you are not doing irregularities. All these governors, they are full of corruption. They are full of corruption.
I saw today, Sifuna was like, when the governors want something, when they want us to approve something, they always run to this house to ask for help, and we help them. But when we call them to ask them some questions about how they utilize these funds, they don't want to come. Khalwale ended up destroying the governor of Kakamega, Governor Baraza, because where Oparanya reached in constructing those roads and the development he had done, that is where they stopped. So he was like, Baraza should also come here. Actually, he should be frog marched from Kakamega to Nairobi. And Khalwale ended up saying the things that the millions and billions of money that has been lost in unseen projects. And he was like, yeah, he should. This is what the people of Kakamega need to know. He jotted the things one by one, and then we said, like, if every governor is to come to the Senate and be questioned by the Public Accounts Committee about some of the things that, because most counties have been lagging behind in development, but at the end of the day, we find that money imekuwa inatolewa kwenda kwa county. What has it been doing? And then unapata huyo chair of governors anatetea governors, anasema the Senate is, I don't know, doing what. Just being someone to be questioned about how accountable you are about using county funds. Hiyo tu ni milestone gani ama ni ngumu aje?
But I think also, Valerie, what we did as a problem, we have so many governors who are not supposed to be there. We only needed 8 governors. Tungetajituma governor wanane. And they could have been coordinated by these councillors or MCAs. Hatungekuwa na magavana. I don't see the need. Kuna governors 47, and it means you distribute the money in 47 governors. But if we had 8 governors, we could be having a place where they can be able now to answer the questions well, and the audit will be done very well. And then we needed an auditor for the whole of the counties, 8 of them. Mtu mmoja tu, si ati kona wako kwa kila county, mmoja tu. So these are things that are happening. I think we'll continue seeing what will happen in the future. I've seen Gachagua and who is like they want to make a pact, and I've seen also it's like Kindiki anaanza kuogopa. He has even started talking and saying that kama ana double down. So mimi hizo vitu nimeonaona Valerie. Leo nitatoka kidogo. Nimeshikwa na usingizi, ninasikia nimechoka sana. Leo nimeshinda kazi the whole day.
Sawa, wewe utapumzika. Kesho ni holiday.
Kesho ni holiday, lakini sisi tunakuaga off kesho, lakini nataka nipumzike leo, nimechoka sana leo. Leo kazi ilikuwa mingi sana. But I'll be coming sana. I like when we converse. Ni mzuri, inatoa mtu stress. But we jua tu, hata ukiuzwa na mtu mwambie tu hizo mambo nimekwambia rais. Ruto ameharibu tu software ya nchi. Kuna kitu kingine. Hiyo hata itajibu kila kitu. Hata ukienda kwa debate na mtu ambaye anakuambia mambo ya hii serikali nini imefanya, mwambie ameharibu tu. Just tell them that huyu jamaa ameharibu software ya nchi. Just that.
Okay. Thank you, Joseph, for your contribution.
And happy Easter to everyone. Valerie, happy Easter to you. Happy Easter to Good Year and everybody who is watching us. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I can see in the comment section we had who was this? Teresia is saying every trader who uses Gikomba should continue showing up there with their play cards to ticket that land should not be taken. Yeah, it's the matter is in court. Hope these people will get their justice, because it is not easy here in Nairobi sahi sahi Nairobi ukikosa hata 50 bob kwa mfuko, things are not pretty out here. Mambo hayaendi. There was another comment here. Goody is saying Ruto is the attention seeker. Yeah, he's an attention seeker. Anataka kuonekana like he's the big brother. He's the only one who is doing what is supposed to be done. Wengine wanakuanga inferior according to Ruto. Boy Yosef said, do you know how long it will take to rebirth Kenya? It will take quite some time, but now we have to take this monster out before he destroys our country, because if he has done this damage in this only in these 3 years, what about if he goes for a second term? He's not going for it. Is one term everywhere. It is one term. Even at the Senate, I had chance of one term. At Gikomba, I had chance of one term. Every corner of Kenya is saying one term. The few individuals who are saying this 2-term chant are the ones that want to take us behind, but I can assure you, this man should go home. Goodia said here that I stopped listening to Kasongo because he gives me fever. Goodia, Kasongo anakupea fever. Yaani ukimwona unajua tu anataka kudanganya. Actually, that is an image that has been created in every Kenyan's mind now. Mtu akiona tu Ruto amekuja kwa screen, hiyo ni uongo. If we are supposed to be the wahengers of the future, we will be saying the way people are saying tamu kama halua, sisi tutakuwa nasema muongo kama Ruto. Boyose is saying this also has messed up all sectors. Yeah. If it's education, I'm a mess up. I can see Eli here. And I can also see David. David and Eli, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to today's podcast. And yep.
Habari zenu.
Mzuri.
Nimeona ni mzuri nami nishikilie wakati my friend anatoka ndio usibaki peke yako, na kumbe tumeingia pamoja na Eli. Lakini mnaendelea na debate mzuri. Ni jambo mzuri. Mimi ninaingia na kujibu swali moja ambayo ilikuwa imeambiwa hapo mwisho katika comment section. Ati Kenya itachukua muda mrefu kurudi normal. Mimi nahakikishia ya kwamba Kenya ni nchi ambayo iko na utajiri mkubwa. Sababu nilikuweko wakati Kibaki alirudisha nchi katika njia na akaweza kutenda makuu kulingana ilikuwa imeharibiwa na Moi for 24 years. Kwa hivyo hii ambao tunaona imeharibiwa na Kasongo, ile kitu tunaweza kuzuia zaidi na imetendeka ni yaingie katika another term. Hata hii mwaka anafaa kuwa atoke hii mwaka, sababu huyu mtu yale ambao ametenda inafaa awe impeached, isipokuwa ni bunge aliweza kuchukua bunge ambao iko na hamu na ukoroku, wacha niseme ukoroku, greedy ya tumbo zao, wangemfanya impeachment, sababu already ameviolate katika hiyo kiti na yale mambo ametenda, ameza violate yote katika akiwa kiti ya presidency. Iko all the terms, inafaa awe impeached. Ukianza pande zote, hata katika hali ya vile tulisikia alikuwa ameshikana na hawa wauaji wa Sudan, ukiangalia uuzaji wa natural resources, national resources kama JKIA, mambo ambayo inalipuka na inanyamaziwa, mauaji, matamshi ya mdomo, already amesajiuza katika hali ya kuwa impeached bucket. Mnajua anafaa kuwa impeached na only the national government, only the National Assembly, because the legislature ndio inafaa kuwa inatenda hilo jambo, lakini sababu aliwanunua, mmoja tunaona ndiye majority leader, mtu wa tumbo, mbunge wa kule Kikuyu, Kimani Ichung'wah. Kwa hivyo sisi kama wananchi na ambao wanaona nchi ambao vile inapelekwa, tungeonelea ni ilikuwa inafaa awe impeached, lakini haitatendeka sababu anafaa kuwa impeached na the National Assembly. Alright, mimi kujibu hilo swali, nchi ya Kenya tukiona ile uporaji inafanywa, for example, budget ya State House ilikuwa imehesabiwa katika mwaka 2025-2026 iweze kutumia, ilikuwa imegawiwa 7 billion allowed there, na already tunasikia katika hiyo miaka katika hiyo miezi haijafika mwaka, end of the year in June already imetumia 17 billion, already imeruka na 1 more billion over, na bado tuko na miezi tatu iweze kufika mwisho wa budget of the year. Kwa hivyo tukiona ile pesa tunasikianga inatumika na the governors, uporaji ndio mwingi. Kwa hivyo hii nchi inaweza ikipata mtu ambaye anaweza kutumia pesa vilivyo bila corruption, hii nchi ya Kenya inaweza kurudi in only 1 year na irudi normal. Hiyo ndio swali nimeona kwanza nirudi na hiyo, ndiposa nami pia ni sababu nilikuwa nimeshatokea tu kwa kitanda na ninarudi tena kazi, nipatie Eli naye atupatie wazo lake. Asante sana kunipatia hiyo nafasi. Thank you.
Thank you so much, David, for your contribution. We can also get Ellie before we close the show, please.
Thanks, Valerie. I hope you can hear me. Can you? I listened very carefully to the presentation by Joseph and also David and yourself. Joseph alikuwa analalamika sana. Ni tu vile tumeshalalamika hapa tangu tuanze,
zamani, hizi programs. We think that if we keep ranting about these leaders that we chose, then we have solved the problem. Me, I think that the only way to deal with this particular problem is to focus on, looking at comparisons with other countries in Africa. What are they doing better? You see, Angola, Burkina Faso, countries like Namibia, they're doing something different. Burkina Faso is not on its own. There are other countries, the Sahel countries, kama watu wa Guinea, Bissau, Mali. There are things they're doing which are starting to sound different, Wamekataa kabisa to entertain foreign interference of their resources, which we are still doing. And I think that the problem is if we don't get leadership that can uproot all those problems, we will, every 4 or 5 years, we will be sitting here complaining. And we will continue for a very long time. Kwa sababu ile engine ya kusafisha gari, hii gari ambacho inaitwa Kenya, iko chafu sana. So the problem is at the top, we know that, but the way things are done through elections, how people get confused by leadership because of the system that we have, if those problems are not dismantled, because Burkina Faso, they did dismantle those, they disrupted those problems. That's, people can say that the man is a military leader, Ibrahim Traore, but he looks like the most civic leader ever that this country, Burkina Faso, and many African countries have ever seen. He doesn't go around shooting people or making disappearances of people. France has tried to kill in Suji. The latest report was 22 times. He's racing up there with Fidel Castro, the former leader of Cuba, for how many times the Americans tried to kill him. But this man is determined to change Burkina Faso. If we have something like this, then we can talk about a Kenya that is changing. You look at the leadership trail. People now in the so-called opposition and those ones on Ruto's side, these people are similar. Hakuna mtu hapo ambayo anaweza kuniambia anafanya kitu different. The other day, I was listening in the background and our good friend, Stony PK, kept repeating about the example of political jokers, and he did mention Kina Eric Omondi and people like that. But if you look at what Eric Omondi has done, Eric Omondi, I see him as an equality leader whose main emphasis is that people, his philosophy is that people are equal and they should be able to get the same, what they call parity. It's the same thing where unapata wewe Valerie, mimi pia ninapata. Tunashughulika na biashara, tunalipa tax, ili vitu kama tuseme matibabu ziwe sawa, education to be good. This man has decided that for him, these things that are lacking, he has to go and look for Kenyans to contribute even 1 shilling in order to install infrastructures, schools, lives of families that are affected by poverty. Yani, these things. So I was a bit disappointed the other day, and I hope that Stony will be here, that he he put Eric Omondi in the same category as political jokers, because me, I see that any person, if we have 10 Ibrahim Traores in Africa, if we have 2 Ibrahim Traores in Kenya, and we have a couple of Eric Omondis in Kenya, not that he wants to make his name. Eric Omondi doesn't want to make his name to be known. But how many people are genuinely doing a similar thing, which he is doing because our political infrastructure has failed? We have to look at examples of positive things that are happening, instead of us sitting here, kila siku, to complain, but not look at what is thriving. And even changing 1 or 2 people, supporting or 1 or 2, even 1 person changing their life is bigger than throwing these biscuits that Naruto are throwing at people to pretend that they're leaders who can do something tangible for the country. My mission about Kenya is that we don't have leadership. This is what I believe. We don't have it. If someone spoke to me about an Ibrahim Traore type leader, then I would believe them that there is something we are trying to do which is different. You see, in many countries, people fall into the same problem that Kenyans we have been through. We ask ourselves, how did we manage to bring such a person as William Ruto to lead the country? After he failed as a vice president for 10 years, as an MP, he went into parliament, as he says, 3 times. He was named in so many corrupt cases. And people who said that we would rather a person we know as a thief than a person ule mwingine mlikuwa mnamuita sijui mchawi, sijui anaroga watu, sijui nini. And we would rather, because we are church people, we would rather vote for a person who goes to church, who is stealing. We know he steals, but he's fair game for us. Who is mad? Is it William Ruto or the people of Kenya who decided even to give him 5 votes, let alone the conventional wisdom we hear that people from Central and Rift Valley gave him something which they think it was a landslide. But we know what happened about the corrupt elections. How can we even say things about William Ruto when we are the ones who are clapping for him to come into power? So this problem, and it's not a blame game, it makes me bitter, by the way, about how people have suddenly transformed. But this problem, it can be fixed if there is someone or some people who are totally different in this political game that can change the country. And me, when I see people like Eric Omondi and any other person or persons who are not trying to elevate themselves, actually their mission is to go to parliament. No, then they know that Kenya should change no matter how big or small they are. Eric Omondi is one of the people behind this Nikokadi. And now this has been taken over by the so-called mainstream politicians. Is the reason why I was disappointed by my friend Tony Piquet and others who looked at Eric Omondi as just a comedian and not someone who can bring substantive change to the country. So if we focus on people who have a mission, even if it's a localized mission. Si hizi zingine ati lazima akue rais. I'm happy to know who my governor will be more than I want to know who the president of Kenya will be, because I know at least with the governor, I don't have to explain, but he a president for now, I don't really care who comes in power because they're the same. I don't care. It might sound stupid, but it is a fact we are not ready to accept that these people are the same. Mtu akikuja hapo mbele atuambie yeye, my mission is this, and I'm going to come out of this kind of a circle of leadership that do the same thing every 5 years. When we're nearing the end of the campaign period, we now start fusing together. Now we are one, but we have been calling each other names, but we're one, which is what happens in Kenya. This thing about coalitions. If we get someone different during this campaign period, hey, hata mimi nitapiga kura. But with the current crop of people, I don't even want to waste my time. I don't want to waste my time. If someone like Eric Omondi or Ibrahim Traore, as I said, we have them in plenty, then that is a good program for our country. And this is, even if these people do not manage to mobilize us to choose a new type of president, but they're mobilizing young people to get into parliament, to take over positions of power in their counties. This will start changing the country, one by one. We've seen what has happened in some countries in Africa, where a lot of young leaders have come from nowhere, and they have addressed this particular issue, what I'm trying to address here, about how power is about money, and they want to reverse it. They want to make it, power is about the issues of people, what is affecting people directly. Unfortunately, Kenya, this is not the case. This is a very, very troublesome situation, and we're surrounded by leaders like Museveni and his son, who is coming next in power. And these people, they will, after Ruto steals the elections again, the club of leadership around this region will approve that rigged election, and then we'll be back to square one, complaining for the next 5 years. But we need these types of Eric Omondis. And I'm sorry if it sounds a bit mischievous that I'm comparing him with Ibrahim Traore. So, but who do we have? Who do we have now to say this one is like an Ibrahim Traore? We don't. We don't have. And I gave an example of Angola. The situation is not like Burkina Faso, but they have a determined leader who is addressing the core issues of the country and has kind of rejected the interference by foreign powers. If we have such a person, unfortunately, I know that someone like Eric Omondi and the other young people, when it comes to foreign powers and foreign policy, they would hardly understand this thing, because these are the ways that our governments are unfortunately created, through foreign interference. So we need someone who, I don't care ni mwanamke ni mwanamume, but someone who, yani akiingia kwa hii campaigns, you're saying this is something different kabisa, and they must cut themselves out of the so-called coalition mediocrity. My last point, hii kitu inaitwa political party, the political party system. which is also a borrowed system from other countries. But let's deal with what we have. Since the start of coalition governments a few years ago, we have seen how a political party or parties are not taken seriously. We have seen how people defect from one party, or even they form their own parties so that they can either get back into positions of power in parliament, or they get a few candidates here and there so they can get the the funds that political parties get, however big or small. Political party system is one of the problems that we have in the country at the moment. And you can see that countries like Burkina Faso, they have addressed that problem. They don't have that. Yoshida Awana. But if I mention Burkina Faso constantly, not because they have a military leadership, but because they have a transition government, a transitional government. Their aim was to bring change and then disappear, give back power to the people. And that's what they're doing. Our system, we have a political party system that does not work. This one has to be addressed. Because how can ODM, for example, a very powerful entity, be in a situation such as this? Yani, it's become a laughing joke. And then the party that is draining it out, fleecing its blood, UDA, is not even any better. You would actually say, if UDA was something, then you can say, okay, ODM, I can see why they're suffering. But what is UDA? Nothing. So I would like to leave it at that, and I will continue, taking part in this debate if you're still open for the next few hours or whatever. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellie, for your contribution. For once, I'm very happy I found someone who has talked about Ibrahim Traore, because I love Ibrahim Traore so much, because since I'd just like you to answer me a certain question before maybe you go, because we are almost closing the show and you will not be in today. So just a question before I talk about Ibrahim Traore, Ellie. Did you know about Thomas Sankara? He was also a president of Burkina Faso, I don't know, took over after a coup, because he was also a junta. He was also military. Thomas Sankara.
Yes, yes, I know Thomas Sankara very well.
Exactly. So
being around for 53 years, I think I know Sankara very well. He was killed by Compaore.
Compaore. Yeah.
Who is currently in a refugee in a country neighboring Burkina Faso. And Compaore
was his best friend.
Yeah, they were best friends, and
when they were in the army. Yeah.
The French used and misused Compaore to accomplish the aim, because Sankara frustrated the French. Kabisa.
Yeah, and they decided to assassinate him. So it's because Sankara came with the policies that hawangeruka, and he abandoned the foreign policies, and during Sankara's time, he brought purity to Burkina Faso, which I think is the reincarnation. Like, I think Traore is the reincarnation of Sankara, because we see that time Sankara is the only leader in Burkina Faso mwenye alisema picha zake zisiwekwe kwa street, ama picha zake zisiwekwe kwa ofisi, kama vile tunaona president wa Afrika picha zao lazima ziwekwe kwa ofisi ndo tuwaone, like ukiangalia ofisi ya governor hapo unaona picha ya Kasongo, ukiangalia
can I comment
ati tunaweka pictures za watu wengine as if we don't put their pictures we can't breathe, you know.
Oh, Sankara refused that because Sankara said that there are many Thomas Sankaras here in Burkina Faso, meaning that there are a lot of people who are liberators, not only me, to be put everywhere and anywhere. And then he abandoned the foreign policies that were making Burkina Faso be manipulated in accessing their resources and everything. And Sankara could even ride with a bicycle to work. But since the French saw this one doesn't work for them, they decided to assassinate Sankara. And now I see Traore has been in power as a junta. The people of Burkina Faso are very happy. There was a time that he was even like, let me just resign and go home. The people of Burkina Faso cried, no, 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 you can't. You are our president. And when they attempted even to kill him, the people of Burkina Faso themselves decided that we can offer security to Traore. Can something like that happen here in Kenya for Ruto? Because the people of Burkina Faso have like, for the small time that Traore has ruled Burkina Faso, I may make some very huge development. Hata the people who are fighting the jihadists that were causing war in Burkina Faso, sahi hatusikii tena, but huku kwetu ona bado. Yeah?
Barari,
Yeah.
the military power or military leadership is good, but the start of that military leadership is you have to know it's a blood leadership. Let us take in Kenya to have a coup. We can just go back to 1982 when there was a try of a coup. We can imagine how many people died that time, and then we bring it to now when the population have already gone up, and think about if there is a military coup in Kenya, how many people can we lose? Yes, we can only see the good leadership of Traore, but the time he was coming to power, you have to go back and see how many people also died and bring it back to Kenya now and see how many people can we lose, how many people will be killed. Me, I don't like military leadership because it come with a coup. And a coup come with the bloodshed. Bloodshed. We have to think about our Kenyans people with a bloodshed. Ndio a military leader aingie, lazima iwe ni a pool of blood, and it is not the blood of animals but the blood of people. Let us take this. Let me finish my point. Let us take this. Even if we made a mistake of bringing that leader called Kasongo in power, it was very simultaneous because there was no blood. We are happy for that. But for now, and I have said there before, the problem we have is the legislature. The legislature, because it has to do with that president out. And we can say, as according to how Ellie was bringing it, we cannot say and conclude there is no one who can lead. The one who is in leadership have to be looked at by the legislature. The failure here, mostly, it is not the president, this so-called Kasongo or Ruto. The biggest failure is the legislature. Sababu hiyo ndio ya kufaa iwe imemweka nje, sababu we are all represented by those legislatures all those MPs represent each and every person in Kenya, because every area there is a member of parliament. And that's why they were given that work or that duty of insight to the governance. The MCAs also have to look how the governor is working. Kenya have a very, very good constitution if it could be followed, and no one could mess up. Nobody could mess up, neither a governor nor a president, because everyone is given the one to incite what he or she is doing. If we can have a very good legislature, even if we bring another president and we have a very good legislature, in fact, Kenya will not be messed up the way it has been messed up. Here, we have seen a corrupt legislature with a corrupt president. Do you get my point?
Yeah.
And because if we could go with the military leadership, there will be no legislature. That's why you can see Traore is doing good, because he is doing it he himself the way he wanted. Either people can like it or no. But our constitution, you have to know that by the time we have a military leadership, the constitution does not work. The constitution does not work. We cannot compare which is that country he lead, Traore. We cannot compare those two countries, because if we get a military leadership, the constitution does not work. Here, our constitution is working, but it is not working. If it could be working, the country of Kenya could be the best. It could be the best. Let us go back to the President Kibaki. Kibaki was not a young person. And by the time he started his leadership, watu wengine hata walisema huyu mtu amekuja kutumaliza, sababu alianza kung'oa watu, kuwasimamisha ma-PS, wanaambiwa stop, no PS should enter the office. Akafanya clearance hapa na pale. Ni kama ukiona pahali kumeungua na kumeanza kukua nyazi, kukua chepechepe, hivyo ndivyo Kibaki alifanya. Kwa hivyo tunaweza kuwapatia credit of doubt, ate yule ataingia hatafanya vile Ruto anafanya, na wabunge ambao wataingia hawatafanya kama vile tunaona wale ambao wamenunuliwa wana work under the presidency wanafanya, sababu wamesahau ati hao sio government, hao sio governance, hao wako na arm yao, the legislature and the judiciary to do their work, and the presidency or executive to do their work. Me, I know whether we can put somebody like Eric Omondi, whether we can put somebody like Matiang'i, na awe na, au ni mfano tunapeana, na awe na a good legislature or National Assembly, nchi yetu itasimama.
So David,
Yes.
I've heard your point, but now what Ellie and I were just trying to say, we were not meaning that Kenya, we need to be ruled by a junta, so we expect a military coup to happen. We were just giving an example of some African leaders who have been having people's interests at heart and have never been influenced by the dominion of foreign policies that makes them adopt those policies and implement them into their countries, which affects the livelihood of the members of their societies. We didn't say that we want a coup to happen in Kenya, because coups are not nice. We've seen most African countries, we've seen many African countries, especially the West African countries, they've been having a lot of coups, and those countries are in very, very bad situation. So what Ellie and I meant was not getting a junta to be the head of states, but we were just giving some examples of African leaders that have been good examples to their country and have always had their people's interest at heart without being influenced by foreign policies, actually by opposing those policies and adapting something that works for them. I think maybe you can now understand me on the issue of military.
Can I come in?
Is it okay?
Unanisikia?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Tuko nakusikia.
Haya, sasa David, nashukuru vile umeendelea kueleza your worries about the alternative method of removing leadership. But, you know, in 1971, thereabouts, there was a man called Joseph Ndolo, or Joseph Musimi Ndolo, who was that major general was the chief of staff of the Kenyan army under the presidency of Jomo Kenyatta. And Ndolo was accused of trying to overthrow Jomo Kenyatta. No, Ndolo was, in terms of our Kenyan political speak, you know, you have to say the tribal thing. He was from Ukambani, Joseph Musimi Ndolo, okay? And he had been accused, him and the Chief Justice of that time, Kitili Mwenda, and another politician called Gideon Mutiso, who was actually jailed. But Kitilu was a very powerful person as a Chief Justice. Ndolo was the chief of the army. You know, Kambas were very respected military people. The infantry, even during the Second and First World War, the Kenyans who were used to fight those European wars in Burma and places like that, where Africans were sent even from Sudan, a lot of them were Kamba people. This Ndolo was accused of ati alikuwa anajaribu kunyakua ushukani ile ya Jomo Kenyatta. Sasa zile Jomo Kenyatta alikuwa na shida na the government, state of the government, because of the assassination of Tomboy in 1969. Things were not good between 69 and 71 thereabouts. And there was a lot of anger with Jomo Kenyatta by even the high and mighty political class. So people planned to remove Kenyatta from power. Hii kitu wanaita power. So Ndolo himself was forced to resign because Jomo Kenyatta feared that there might be a backlash in the army if he was put on trial. I think there was a pilot called Frederick Omondi, a lieutenant in the Kenyan Air Force, who was also probed about that particular impending coup. These people, they did not plan bloodshed. Ndolo's word was that this country has been liberated from the Wazungu, but huyu Jomo Kenyatta na political clan yake, especially Mama Ngina, they were fleecing the economy and bringing Kenya to its knees, including our wanyama wa pori. They were literally fleecing the Kenyan economy. And Kinandolo said enough is enough. But they had planned this thing in such a way that obviously also, you know, Kenyatta was in his 70s. And there was the power struggle about who becomes the next president. People have never taken this coup plots of 1971 seriously. But this would have been one of those moments where Kenya would have changed at that time, so that because there were a lot of powerful people who were behind this thing at that time, compared to this one of 1982, where there were few powerful people and there was no universal, like there was no consensus. What would happen in 1982? There was too much confusion, which led to bloodshed. But the one of Jomo Kenyatta of 1971, you can read about it. There were very many powerful people who were ready for change. And this is why these people were not even prosecuted. The only person who faced the law was Gideon Mutiso. So, guys, to say that a coup is not a good thing, yes, that's a good proposition. No one likes to see bloodshed. But to say that a leader like Ibrahim Traore, who came in by overthrowing another military leader, is not a bad thing, because if he was like Idi Amin or even this Yoweri Museveni that we see now, then we would have said, these coups are not good. But this man has transformed his country and actually behaves like a civilian leader. I know that the armed forces are trained to kill. They're supposed to be brutal. In fact, right now as we're talking, South Africa has commissioned 2,000 troops on the streets to deal with the gang situation in South Africa, and people are complaining about it. We had a similar situation in Kenya, where the military were brought on the streets to quell the protests in 2024. And the military inside us said, no, this is not good. Aden Duale, go away. Hii kitu hatufanyi. Hatufanyi hii kitu. Unfortunately, some people during the troubles in 2024, they took advantage of the fact that the military were on the streets. And then they started to shoot people and then blame the military. The Kenyan military in 2024 were not ready to kill people. They were there to advance the aims of the Kenyan people. Don't forget these people, they're also very high-tech now. They're in the social media. Hii si kama military zile za zamani. Ati umekaa huko nini huko Langata Barracks, sijui wapi, umeshinda tu ukichukua those AFCO things that these people, all they got there was vouchers for food and drinks that were 80% discount. They nearly didn't pay for nothing. They were just there in the barracks. This military of Kenya has changed, and these people, they're aware about their rights and so on. So I think that what happened in 2024, people keep blaming Raila Odinga. But if Aden Duale's policy of bringing these people to the streets, if it was maintained, people went to court to remove the military from the streets. But Aden Duale said no. And the military said, no, we don't want to be on the streets. That was a strong message. In fact, in 2024, if we had a proper chief of staff, we would have had a velvet revolution. Even Ruto would have shaken hands with the military and said, look, guys, I don't have to stay in power. Just take it. Let's see what you can do. So, bro, I can see where you're coming from your fears about bloodshed with the military coups, and Kenyans are afraid of such a thing called a coup because of the experience in 1982. But if you want to give a comparative analysis, you can say that in 2007, apart from the spears and arrows and machetes that killed 1,800 people, 500 or so deaths were by state-sponsored gunshots. These were not civilians, these were police, GSU. So it's an oxymoron tukisema ati wale ambao wanatoka jeshi watakuja kuua watu ili tupate to change the system. There are so many things where we have lost the opportunity to change the country. And I think that every time that Kenyans are trying to change the country, it is the fear that we have. And this fear is balkanized, it's tribal. I hate this balkanization of the country because it is the only thing that we have. Mtu amekaa hapo anasema ati yeye ni Mkalenjin, mimi ni Mjaluo, mwingine Mkikuyu, wengine hawa wataita sijui Borana, hata watu hawajui. But if you have even some sensible leaders in the political class that say this situation that we have right now needs to change completely. Not that you see them in funerals laughing and smiling, they shake hands, and then after that they go and they blast out things that they hate each other. We've had enough of that. If I had the power from my location where I am to mobilize and influence young leadership, I would say these are the ones, and the Kenyan people can decide, can these people change our country? The problem we have with this is that every time we try to do something different, hii ukabila inatumaliza kabisa. Like, okay, me, I'm like, what Uhuru Kenyatta said, yeah, when he decided to stop calling Raila Odinga madman, he said, okay, kwani you people, you are saying that we are dynasty, but you don't want other communities to give us a leader for the country. In a way, I supported Uhuru Kenyatta, but then I thought, this leadership, is it just for the presidency, or can we just carve out leadership where we don't really rely on a president? If we had a ceremonial president, that's enough for me. I don't know about you. That constitution needs to change thoroughly, because if we had a ceremonial presidency, no one cares. In Tanzania, they have a ceremonial prime minister. The powers are not that strong. We need to shake that system, and we see where we went wrong with this not Bomas Katiba, but this Katiba of the so-called Committee of Experts, which we currently have now. My last point here in regard to this, look at Donald Trump. The Americans, they have a problem now. They celebrated Donald Trump. You ask yourself this question: is it Donald Trump who is the problem with his neurodiversity? Because he's definitely got something there that does not work really well with his brain function. And that's not me stigmatizing people who have some problem with their brain function. But I think that at this point, we know that there's something wrong with this man. Yeah. But the Americans, they decided that this guy is the president. So is it Donald Trump who is the problem, or the American people? It's the same question I'm asking about us. The way I'm comparing the two systems. I think the problem is not, okay, Donald Trump is the problem, yes, but the American infrastructure, political infrastructure, is so corrupt. Yani, it's so corrupt. And I think they are more of a problem than Donald Trump. That's the way Donald Trump gets away with all these despicable things that he has done, is because of the American system and the American people. Is the same situation tuko nayo nchi yetu inaitwa Kenya. Asanteni.
Well, thank you so much, Eli, for your contribution. I think I'll just close the show. We continue tomorrow, but I'd just like to air on some of the things that you said. You are like, if we want to change this government, then we must have new people or neutral people, something. There's something that I always tell people here on this podcast. There is this thing that is called circulation of elites. So there are two divisions of elites in a society. The ruling ones are the lions, and the ones that are outside, the ones like the opposition, they are the fox. The lion uses force and the fox is cunning. The fox will go around telling you that the lion is bad. But when you elect that fox to come to power to where the lion was seated, they end up becoming the lions. So Eli was trying to tell us that even if we are electing some leaders, we should make sure that we know that there are these people who have always been in government. And what Eli was just trying to say was that mtawarudisha huku wakuje kwa kiti, and then kichaka ni mpya lakini nyani ni wale wale. I think that is what you are trying to say, Eli. And yeah, I think for what has remained, we might touch on it tomorrow. It was a lovely discussion. It was nice having Eli around and David. It is my first time interacting with you guys, but I can say it was a nice one. And I wish you all a good night.
Thank you, Valerie, and also my first time interacting with you and David. Thank you for the program. Thank you.
Yeah. Have a good night, guys.